speaker on our list is... Okay, so Bruce Edgar. And it's got a note here, he was just inducted into the Sports Legions of Wellington last week. You might have to
yeah. Kia ora koutou. Thank you for that, Michael. My focus tonight is to talk about the Eruini development or proposal. And we're here to, as a group, we're here to ask questions and advocate strongly for our community. And let me touch on one district-wide objective in the current plan that I believe calls for some clarification. Under DO03, Development Management and Plan Change 2, one core policy states, and listen to this, higher residential densities and locations that are close to centres and public open spaces with good access to public transport. What does close to centres mean? Are we really going to pretend that 5 kilometres from Waikanae or about 10 to Paraparaumu Central actually qualifies? What does high density mean? Because it certainly doesn't say high density, it implies that increases in density that are incremental, balanced, sensitive to current communities, a development that adds value, not chaos, benefiting one-time profiteers at the expense of long-standing residents. For Waikanae Beach, that might mean 2 or 3 units per property, an increase of 100% or 200% in density. Is that reasonable? But 500%, 800% or more, that's not high density. That's an assault on the character, privacy and function of this community. Did anyone on this council stop to ensure the policy intent was being followed? Or are rules now being misinterpreted to serve developers at any cost? The impact on this community speaks volumes. Building in a flood hazard zone, elevating a flat site by isolating it from everything nearby, compromising amenity and privacy. Where are the schools to support this growth? Where is the accessibility that's promised in your own policy? I'm sorry, but this does not fit into the framework we've laid out for development management, and calling the impact less than minor is outright disingenuous. Well, we hope it's not. To our councillors, you don't have to wait for the rules to change or hide behind them. If you believe the system is wrong, stand up for us. Represent your community. Push back and listen. Decisions that retract your ability to protect areas like Waikanae Beach are unacceptable. We need councillors to take a united stand against outcomes that cause irreparable damage. It's not easy to stand up, but if something is fundamentally wrong, fight it. How can elected officials sleep at night knowing their actions are contributing to dysfunction? Now I've got that out of the way, I actually want to give some credit where credit's due. Mike Moore, as Chair of the Ward, thank you for your steadfast support. And for raising our concerns, as Mayor Janet said, directly to Council. Councillors Jocelyn Barnoff and Nigel Wilson. You both voted against plans change too, and rightly so. You don't shy away or hide. Not here tonight, Councillor Rob Coford. Your expertise as an architect has made it clear that alternative designs can be pursued. You also voted against plan change too. And finally, to all of you here tonight, congratulations. Your passion, your tenacity, willingness to fight for what's right is inspiring. And that unity speaks volumes. Thank you. Kia ora.
Thank you, Bruce. Next speaker is Lucy Cameron. Lucy, do you want to use the microphone?
Can you hear me okay? Teacher, tēnā koutou katoa, ko Lucy Cameron tōku ingoa, o Kāpiti ahau, o Waikanae e noho ana, kei te kura o Waikanae e noho ana. He kaiako aho. My name is Lucy Cameron. I'm from Kapiti, born and bred. I live in Waikanae and I teach at Waikanae School. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight, for the first time. I'm here to talk about the proposed Eruini Street development, but also the wider issue of how development is being handled in Waikanae. Like many here, I love our community and want to see it grow the right way. So over 2,000 people have now signed a petition opposing the current Eruini proposal. That's more people than would fill the Waikanae Memorial Hall several times over. This is not a handful of disgruntled neighbours or NIMBYs, as some like to call them. This is a clear and united community message. People care deeply about what's happening here. This is not about being anti-housing or anti-change. It's about ensuring development is well planned, sustainable and respectful in the existing community. Right now, that's not happening. Imagine stepping outside on a sunny day to hang out your washing, but the only sun you get lasts about 20 minutes before it's blocked by a towering wall. Imagine losing your privacy in your own backyard. Imagine your garden becoming a dark corridor overlooked from above. Privacy gone. The sense of home diminished. These are not abstract concerns, they are lived realities residents will face if this proposal goes ahead. And we've seen how this plays out elsewhere. Just this month, a High Court judge in Auckland overturned a council decision where development was approved on a non-notified basis because experts claimed the effects were less than minor. The judge found that that was wrong. The effects were absolutely more than minor and the neighbours should have been consulted. Sound familiar? This is exactly what Waikanae residents fear, being told effects are less than minor when we know they are anything but. It's also important to look at the big picture. Waikanae has 2 primary schools and 1 secondary school that they feed into. Our medical centres are already stretched. Hospital care means long trips to Wellington or Kenepuru. Sporting facilities and parking have been under-resourced for decades. You just have to go to netball courts and know that. Adding medium and high-density developments without addressing infrastructure is not just unwise, it's unfair. Sorry, dry mouth with nerves. As this is not just about Eruini Street, concerns remain about Utota Street, around the Karewarewa Urupa debacle, the other Palmer Cook development in the Garden Trail area, and around other developments like Arahirike, still empty and unused. Arahirike was supposed to be tied to the development of Narara similar to Ferndale, but instead it's left a scar in our landscape. Poor planning doesn't meet housing needs, everyone thinks it's an eyesore, and eyesores that many people still can't afford. With local elections approaching, these issues matter. These choices will shape how people vote. Residents want representatives who stand with their communities, not with the developers. How many of you right here now feel a sense of worry every time you see a for sale sign go up? If you're not right now, you will be. That's the kind of uncertainty this process has created, anxiety, stress and unease that lingers. But what has also become clear is just how strong this community is. We are united, we are resilient, and we will not stop standing up for what's right. So, tonight, I ask the board, and through the council, to listen carefully to what the community is saying. We're not giving up. We will continue to raise our voices until the message is heard. Development in Waikanae must be sensible, sustainable, and shape of the community, not imposed on it. We're not against growth. We are against bad growth, and Waikanae deserves better. We will demand it. I hope you're ready. Ngā mihi nui.
Speaker is Robin House. Thank you, Robin. Do you want the microphone if you want to use one?
No, I don't think I need the microphone. Tēnā koutou katoa. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I actually wanted to start also by just acknowledging the work of the board members and council members for Waikanae and thank them for their service. I mean, I know it's not easy taking on a public role. It can be quite a thankless task, so thank you. You might not think it, but I'm actually going to talk about Eruini Street as well. I'm from Waikanae Beach. And it's the end of the triennium, as Mayor Janet said, and it made me think about why people would stand for council or for the board, and if they did, what qualities would they need? And I sort of thought that people who stood for those sorts of positions would want to serve their community. That should be a given. They should be aware of and hear the concerns and issues of residents. They should listen to those residents with respect. They should take an objective view of things. They should be unbiased and declare any conflicts of interest. They should make decisions based on evidence, and they should communicate with their community clearly and often. And I think that's a fairly fair set of principles for anybody to want to stand for council or the board. I'm sorry if I sound a bit preachy. The Eruini Street development is a case in point, where all the above should be front of mind for council and board members. And I thank, as others have, Mike, Nigel and Jocelyn for their support, encouragement on the Eruini Street issue. It's an outstanding issue, as you've already heard from two speakers, because it highlights the strength of community pride in Waikanae Beach and its character, or vibe, however you want to describe that. The tsunami of groundswell support shown by over 2,000 signatures to that petition, objecting to poorly thought out, misplaced development in the beach area, demonstrates how the community wants a say in how Waikanae Beach develops in ways that are sympathetic to the local social, physical and cultural environment. The Narara Road development is another great example of local community pride, and I would almost say love, for their local area, and of their need to be heard regarding the direction that local development takes. In that case, the residents were steamrolled by a lack of consultation and input. Fortunately, the Eruini Street people found out soon enough to be able to make a bit of a noise, as you know. But getting back to Eruini Street, we've had great support from the board members, thank you, mentioned earlier. They've lived up to the principles a board member should operate under. On the other hand, there's been one board member who has, for some unknown reason, chosen to attack Bruce Edgar on a personal basis and share his nasty, aggressive comments with others. There's no way that person should be anywhere near a community board. And I'm really disappointed that Mr. Begovic is not here tonight to hear that, because I have emailed him telling him what I think, and he hasn't replied to me. So I'm disappointed he's not here. So that's all. I hope I haven't been too preachy. I'm talking to you tonight as an involved resident, and I'm really only trying to remind anyone who stands for office where your responsibility lies, and that is to the community. Thank you.
So I'm a resident of Eruini Street, and I just wanted to kind of tell you my perspective. I bought our house 2.5 years ago, saved money for many years, was thinking about Waikanae Beach because I love Waikanae Beach. I've loved it for a long time, since I've been in the country. Obviously I'm American, folks. But I wanted to talk about the community, the street, what we are trying to do that I feel is for the benefit of Waikanae Beach, for Te Aro, for communities up and down the Kapiti Coast, is try to fight for what is right. What this developer is trying to do is going to cause a lot of grief. It already has. I wouldn't be here if this wasn't happening. You heard Lucy talk about how people are concerned about other vacant lots, and it's causing stress. And I just feel that there's a lack of leadership from the council. I could go into PC2 and how I feel about that and how it came about, but I won't. I'm just going to focus on my street. My street's become like a tourist destination. I don't know if you've all been down it, which is good. We're doing the right thing. We're here. We're talking. We're trying to get the word out the best we know how. We're just average people that care about our street. We care about Waikanae Beach. And we really want to see some fairness, and we want to see public notification. This was sprung on us. I don't know how we found out about it, but it was, definitely didn't hear about it from the developer, or the council, or anyone else, and that's just not right. You're plonking a huge development in a quiet residential street away from schools, away from transport, in a flood zone. There's just so many things that are wrong with this. It's unbelievable. So I just wanted to get up. I was able to speak. I signed my name. That's basically what I want to say. And we need leadership that is accountable for some of these decisions that were made. You know, we could go through, Labor brought this PC2 up. We have council members that had a choice, you know, in my opinion, that, you know, are they going to stand up to central government? Are they going to be an independent council? And some were, some weren't. There's some councils, Auckland, Christchurch, they pushed back. They got exemptions. Our council didn't do that. It's upsetting. The people shouldn't have to be putting up signs down the street and doing this grassroots movement to bring this effect. There has to be some responsibility all the way down the line. Not naming anyone specifically, but there's a lack of responsibility. And yeah.
Thanks, Steve. We've only got 2 more speakers, but I think it's an appropriate time now. I just want to make a statement on the development as far as the information that everyone has before them. So currently council's consent team have made no decision on this development in Eruini Street. It's still being reviewed before the consent team. And I, on behalf of the board, and I'm sure all of us, want to thank everybody for their activism and their communication on the subject. It hasn't gone ignored. Darren is in our audience tonight. He's listened loudly, as all the elected members have. So I just want to assure you that no decision has been made yet, but your noise and your comments have been taken into account, and that's the status currently with that application. Okay. Oh, yes,
I had a question, so I would have put it to Steve or Bruce or Lucy or anybody else. That has there been an association that's formed with it? The point of that being that the Eruini Street is unlikely, in my view, to be a standalone. As you say, there are Narara. There should be some learnings from Narara as soon as we get the chainsaws and beautiful trees coming down. And there are a number of vacant lots of beach, so that should be a massive cause of concern. So I was just wondering, in terms of a collective view, if there is some group that has formed, or is there a prospect of a formal group? Because it just makes it much easier, I think, to be able to communicate directly if there is a representative group. So just something to have a think about. If there isn't one, have a think about it.
Thank you.
So I'm just wondering, because I know when the Waikanae Beach and the Regional Society had their annual general meeting, that a lot of members came along to that. I don't know whether you've become part of that or not, but they have they make a lot of submissions to council, and I've got some very good members who are very au fait with what is going on in central government and local government.
If I could just add to your comments. It's been guerrilla warfare for us. We've literally had to respond to something that was just presented to us by chance by one of our neighbours finding out about this, and we had a meeting the next night. So the community, Eruini Street, Whitmore Road, gathered around and said, we've got to fight this. And no one else is helping us. And in terms of a central hub, you should just set up a Facebook page called the WRAG, Waikanae Residents Action Group, just to sort of get it out there. But we've been doing it in other ways. But for us, we've had to respond as quick as we can. The Waikanae Beach and Peka Peka Society do some outstanding work. Most of the people here have actually been to that meeting as well and probably signed up. So that's probably something that we need to consider too.
But I have to add, why should we? Why should we have to?
Well,
Why can't?
that's quite right.
And
Yeah.
we will do it. Obviously, I've told everybody we're going to. We're not stopping. Why should these groups have to form? Why can't council listen? Why can't they look after us? I don't get it. I don't get why we have to be so...
I've received numerous communications from potential councillors and current councillors, including the Mayor, that say that they don't agree with this particular development. In fact, they're shocked by it. In fact, I had a meeting today with a potential councillor on Eruini. But in those emails and online discussions, all of them throw up their hands and put a but at the end of every piece of communication. And they say, I don't agree with it, but there's nothing we can do about it. It's central government. The council's got to get off their bum and go down there and sort it out.
Thank you, folks.